Hey there, it's Stephanie Shea, Chief Astrologer for janspiller.com with your monthly horoscope, and this one is for you, Virgo. We're coming into November, and the sun will be shining in Scorpio all the way through the 20th, and this can really help you to make sense of information that has been confusing. We have been dealing with some double retrogrades of the inner planets Mercury and Mars at the same time, with Mercury as your ruling planet when in retrograde. I wouldn't be surprised if you have found certain communications frustrating, confusing, or even impossible to get started. So you use the first part of the month to research and clarify things. Good news, both Mars and Mercury will be stationing direct mid-month. So that's going to, I think, really help you to facilitate some new beginnings during the second half of the month. The first half of the month is going to be better for just getting organized and putting a wrap on works in progress, organizing your time, all those things that Virgos often excel at. So Mercury will station direct at 25 degrees of Libra on November 3rd. Mercury has been retrograde since October 13th. And as I said, because it's your ruling planet, you may have been feeling the strongest effects of this phenomenon. If it's been difficult the past few weeks, take heart. You should have an easier time with negotiations and making yourself understood after November 3rd. Just keep in mind that we'll be in the shadow phase of this Mercury retrograde cycle until November 20th. So the best advice for working through the end shadow phase of a Mercury retrograde is to proceed methodically with an attention to detail, especially when you're collaborating with others. And again, usually Virgos excel at this, and people may rely on your eye for detail and your patience and your ability to work methodically in the coming weeks. Now, on November 13th, we've got Mars stationing direct at 15 degrees of Aries, and this ends a cycle that began back on September the 9th. It's possible that this Mars retrograde cycle has offered you the chance to learn more about yourself and or a loved one. You may have noticed where you find yourself getting impatient or frustrated and how you might be getting in your own way. These are all huge Mars retrograde themes that may particularly apply to Virgo or Virgo rising people. Once Mars stations direct, you can start to use the self-knowledge that you've gained in positive and productive ways. This astrology, once Mars stations direct, could revitalize your passion for life. One of the side effects of a Mars retrograde, because both Mars and Aries rule the physical body, is that it can actually sap our energy a little bit. So if you have been feeling a bit in a slump physically, I think you will start to get a little pep back, a little spring in your step after Mars stations direct. We'll be in Aries all the way through January 6th. So the good news is you have plenty of time to make use of the power of Mars moving forward in the sign of Aries. So don't rush into things too quickly. Try to do everything at once this month. No. Just know that you can kind of temper this energy that may be coming your way and make a plan to harness it in productive ways between now and the beginning of the year. We've got the November 15th new moon at 23 degrees of Scorpio. And this is an especially good new moon for Virgos to set intentions that involve honest communications, research, learning, any type of education or teaching, making strategies. And it's also a good new moon for intentions that have to do with intimate relationships. So there's a lot in there. I also think this will be a great new moon to restate any intentions that you made back in October at the new moon, because at that time we were under the double retrogrades. So it can help to review that intention list from the October new moon, refresh it. You may have some revisions, but really reinforce the intentions that you want to proceed with at this new moon. It'll give it an extra boost. And if you're not already a member of janspiller.com, I encourage you to check out our memberships page, because Jan literally wrote the book on new moons. Her new moon astrology book outlines very clearly how to work with these new moon cycles and setting your intention. And when you become a member to this site, you're not just supporting Jan's legacy, which is awesome. You're also going to get access to the most powerful times to set your new moon intentions every month. And it really does make a difference when you set them. Now, the sun is going to move into Sagittarius on the 21st. And this forms a tense square to Virgo sun. But you can make use of this astrology to challenge yourself, to learn something new, or understand someone else's point of view. Sometimes these squares actually challenge us to do something that we wouldn't have done otherwise. So you can rise to this challenge. Keep an open mind as the month closes. We've got the November 30th full moon combined with a lunar eclipse at 8 degrees of Gemini. Now, this is also squaring your sun, especially if you're a Virgo born on or around August 31st of any year, or if you're a Virgo rising person with around 8 degrees Virgo rising, you'll be feeling the strongest effects of this eclipse. So you can use it to think about the goals you may have started 6 months ago and evaluate where you are now. I like these lunar eclipses because they show you what's before you. It usually shines a light on something that you couldn't see before, and the visible results of your actions or lack of actions. Either way, it's quite enlightening. And you could gain some information and make a key connection. And it might have to do with career, especially for Virgo rising people. So I hope you can use this lunar eclipse in a productive way and use all the astrology of November to your best advantage. Be safe and be well. And I'll see you here next month with your horoscope.